What's up, everyone? My name is Vincent Toro, and you're watching Poets House Presents. So today I'm going to read some poems for you from my newest collection, Tertulia, which just came out from Penguin Random House. The collection of poems themselves, they were written over the last 5 or 10 years. They were coming out of the work that I was doing as a social justice educator. I'm a teaching artist in the schools. I also run a youth program, and I'm a professor at Bronx Community College. And the work that I do with students, I teach creative writing, but with the social justice bent, I also teach theater. And so a lot of the work that I wrote in Tertulia came out of some of the conversations I had with students, the project work we were doing, the things that we were researching, and the issues that we were just confronting in the classroom. But conceptually, the book itself, I wanted it to look and feel like a tertulia. So in Spain and Latin America, a tertulia is an event it's pretty much a party or a celebration, but with an exciting added dimension to it, which is that tertulias have some elements of performance and exchange. So at a tertulia, people might break into song, pull out a guitar and sing. Someone might improvise a choreographed dance. There's poetry readings, maybe even someone's painting on the side. There's guided and focused discussions on art and politics and philosophy and science. So I think there's an intellectual aspect to a tertulia and an artistic and performative aspect that your average party necessarily doesn't necessarily have. And an interesting fact about the tertulia, I think why they were so important in Latin America is when you look at like the history, especially the last 120, 140 years, where these fascist regimes had taken over in a lot of these countries, the people that were holding them were creating a space for people to exert their liberties and to talk about things where they weren't allowed to gather in public spaces because it was forbidden. They were able to be in someone's home and express themselves and talk about these ideas. And then sometimes those events would clandestinely become places where organizing happened, right? And so that was really important. So I wanted the book to feel like that, to be an agent, to almost feel like a space for people to come and to have an exchange of dialogue and to be performing. So I played with a lot of different types of styles and voices that I'm trying to use to serve in conversation with each other and kind of create that kind of sense of like not only celebration, but of engagement and community building, but in the form of a book. So the first poem that I'm opening up with, I've chosen it because I think it speaks to some things that are happening this week. In the past several days, 2 more African American men have been killed by the police, Ahmaud Arbery and George Floyd. And this poem I wrote some years ago in response to the murder of Oscar Grant. So this is called Nonstop from Fruitvale to Ursa Major, Ofrenda por los Desaparecidos of the United States, for Oscar Grant et al. A lung lit like diesel is not fable or fodder, is not sewage siphoned from stern and starboard, cuffs, not slapdash plums plunge from your garden. A labor of moles audit your liver. Unquenchable tasers huddle around you like a gaggle of bleak midwives. A diesel-lit lung is not a gift from the mayor, for a name is not a plaque, is not an anthem composed to arouse a hemoglobin-parched stadium. Self-taunted, they label you anger as they flit with anger. Their fear scantily clad, colluding in a prim commune armed with hedge clippers. Grandiloquently, they rattle inside haughty cages, send Nessian sentinels to slip into ventricles, siphoning mortgages and fractured treaties, terrified that you will offer tithes to the patron saint of reciprocity. Argent, you are the new nebula, a rucksack of pitted olives, an escrache, sullying the real estate cult of rubber bullets and dank paddy wagons. Your lung lit like diesel, burst, spirals upward, pulling unstoppable phosphors into orbit. I just want to take a second to wish everyone who's listening and viewing well. I hope that during this extremely stressful time of the pandemic, that you are safe and that all of your loved ones are safe. And I just want to add, though, that even though this crisis is occurring right now, there have been things like history still happening, the world is still going on. And some of the problems that we had before COVID, they haven't gone away just because we're in COVID. And so as we speak, as we are all in quarantine, even as we are in quarantine right now, there are children that are in cages, that have been in cages. There are family members still being deported. There are still being ICE raids occurring in the middle of all this. And this next poem that I'm reading speaks to all of that. It's called Areto for the Shipwrecked, Dreamcatcher. Illegal my eyes, iris of unfertilized plateaus, unforgiven for surging into a dialect with no global market value. Illegal my argot, I cannot just wade out into neutral lakes. I cannot evade the plexus that marks me contraband. When I seed above ores you crave, you illegal me. Forge deeds, uproot me, hire me to manage the waste. Illegal my souls, when your arsons drag me to your doorstep. Illegal my faith. Broadcast me an illegal substance. Refuse me lodging if I refuse to be free labor. Allege me vermin, toxin. Zombify all kin who return enraged by your Tombopolis. Illegal my relics. Confiscate my liver. Now even my scars must be registered. Illegal my pyres, enkindled by your rote pandemics. Illegal the bronze of my cutis. If I split walnuts with the neighbors, somehow it's lascivious. Illegal my parchments, my ponds, my corybantic time signatures. Only my silence is welcome. Only my silence is suspect. Let's do another Areto poem. This one's Areto for the Shipwrecked, Latinx the Unknown. And it's a sound piece inspired by something that Tracy Morris said in a workshop that I was in with her. And it's also written in the decima form, which is a Latin American form of poem. It's the Latin American sonnet, I suppose. So this is Areto for the Shipwrecked, Latinx the Unknown. If you dice it, it don't split. It swells, glows, grows a spine of base, lines halved by throat of the hive, struck, brine of riled goats amped for lounge acts, lit like post-mob flash mobs. It don't split if you shear it. It dons, hooves, fruits lungs, and surfs crowds, sourced, sung in mute tones of skin, as drum, as stem, cell-blocked, veins rich with bronze ore to smelt ribs, as brass, as scorched tongue, as root hacked, like code, blit spikes with stone, sly glitch trip, synth bliss, the mist of wire, mouth of light in molt, pumped blood as bolt, not cut, but sighed through wood, wind whirled as gall bled dry by seer suited in bites, but don't push, don't force, a heart is not a hushed clock, wise, a cracked act, or a hip crown, this by a myth, sliced its whole ground, split, it's a bridge of breath, bright blush. I recently celebrated my 15th wedding anniversary, and so I wanted to end this reading with a poem from my wife. It's called Punk Obad for Hardcore Chica, for Dr. Grisel Y. Acosta, and a response to Pablo Neruda's I Like For You to Be Still. I like for you to be clamorous. It is as though you were a stack of Marshall amps in a concert hall. My listless mind is quickened by your dulcet caterwauls. It seems as though your irises radiate as filtered Fresnel lights, rousing me from a disquiet repose. You do not emerge from me. You emerge sovereign from your own collaged cocoon of glitter and leather jackets. Why would I ever want you still and distant? For I tingle when you flutter swirl, composing etudes out of cabaret camp and critical race theory. I do not want you absent and Stepford amenable, or remote like an ingenue with clenched lip and heart awaiting rescue. I want you as you are, as boisterous as a campus sit-in. When I talk to you, do not be silent. Silence me with the B-side bravado of your Jello Biafra badinage. Supinate me with the voltage of your steel-toed boots, your unbridled scrutiny of gender inequality. I like for you to be blustering, unapologetic, an ebullient tempest of community projects and brandy-infused mosh pits. No, you are not like my soul. You are like your soul. The cramps blasting through an Argento Giallo populated by Iraqi freaks. I like for you to be zoetic. It is as though you are nightclub subwoofers demolishing every sham throne with your meticulous thunder. I like for you to be not as I like, but as you are. All rose skull ink cavorting through beer-soaked dance halls, rambunctious as an archangel blue, the convivial grande dame doing the time warp at an end-of-the-world fiesta. It is as though you were amaranthine, and one blustering word from you, one X-ray smirk, is not enough. Thank you, everyone, for watching this edition of Poets House Presents. I sincerely appreciate it. I cannot wait to be out in the world with all of you again when we can do these kinds of things in person once more. It can't come soon enough. I also want to thank the publishers of Tertulia, Penguin Random House, my editor Paul Slovak, the publicist over there, Christina Fazzolaro, the entire team over there. You've all been amazing. I also, of course, must thank my wife, poet and scholar, Dr. Grisel Y. Acosta. Be safe. Bye.
If you've enjoyed these programs, please consider giving a contribution to Poets House. For more than 30 years, they've kept the door wide open to everyone for the joy of poetry. Recently, they have temporarily had to shut the door and are reeling from the financial implications. Please give, even a small donation if you can. Thank you.